Charles Leclerc, who had been doing promising and dominant training with Ferrari, was overwhelmed by a disappointing qualifying session that raised alarm bells within the Scuderia. What seemed to be the start of a weekend of redemption turned into a tense episode, full of frustration and internal criticism. After finishing Q3 in 6th place, behind even his teammate Lewis Hamilton, the Monegasque driver opened up and made tough demands on the Maranello team. And it wasn't just about performance, it was about confidence, technical direction, and, most importantly, responses. Exposing the behind-the-scenes of a problem that seems to be deeper than just a driving error. So stay until the end of the video to understand this story. Like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more Formula One news. On Friday, in free practice, Ferrari was dominant. Hamilton led free practice 1, while Leclerc led free practice 3. It was the perfect scenario. There was plenty of confidence. There was plenty of car. But then we reached the decisive moment, Q2 and Q3. Leclerc and Hamilton comfortably secured passage to Q2. And in Q2 Leclerc still showed calm. But then the unexpected happened. In Q3, the pace didn't improve. Verstappen got it right, taking pole with a time of 1m24s892, followed by the McLarens, while Hamilton held on to 5th place, and Leclerc, from whom more was expected, appeared in 6th, 0.229s behind Max. But what went wrong? What happened to the car that orchestrated such a dominant pace in practice? 2 tenths may not seem like much, but in Formula One this may be enough to stop dreaming about pole position and start occupying the 3rd row. Leclerc lost valuable time in the final corners, enough distance to ruin a lap that had pole potential. Leclerc lost valuable time in the final corners, went wide, lost a few hundredths, enough distance to ruin a lap that had pole potential. The pace was there, but I didn't execute when I should have, he confessed, clearly dejected. And the worst was yet to come. In his most private moments, the hot radio shows of Q3, he exploded. There were 9 expletive-filled outbursts, followed by shocking self-deprecation. I am so fing-ass. That's all I am. The outburst was so strong that it almost broke the silence within Ferrari. And for Charles Leclerc, who is in 6th place, behind teammate Lewis Hamilton, the regret is even greater because he frustrated everything with a mistake in the last corner. A small mistake, but one that, with such small differences, weighed heavily. When asked on the microphones of Sky Sport F1 if this mistake could have cost him pole, the Monegasque explained, "I don't think so, because I'm 2 tenths down. For sure that cost me the front row, but now I'm a bit tired of coming here and saying there's always something wrong. I'm not finding the same feeling I had a year ago with the car in qualifying. We have issues that are very specific, and in qualifying it becomes much more difficult, because there are some things that are a bit weird, but we know where they come from, and I think we have the solution. They are more issues than balance issues, but at the end of the day, I have to do the job, and I'm not doing that in qualifying. I think I'm doing a great job in the race, but in qualifying, I'm not doing what I expect from myself. I have to work on that, because it's always been a strong point of mine, but at the moment I'm struggling a lot," he added. Regarding the problems he mentioned earlier, he did not want to go into details, remaining quite enigmatic, but saying that he is convinced that they will be resolved soon. There's something else in the car that we never talk about, and it's better that way. But we've been struggling a bit with that problem. Now we hope that the solution comes soon. That's the interesting point. It wasn't just an isolated error, but a structural problem that the team had been struggling to understand for months. And the message was clear. Something needs to change inside Ferrari, now. After accepting his own guilt, he didn't stop there. He complained that the team had been testing various setup adjustments round after round, trying to recover the rhythm in qualifying, but nothing seemed to work. There was also buzz in the paddock about possible technical updates. In Spielberg, the Scuderia brought new funds to the development package, and paddock debaters speculated that the next key piece would be a new rear suspension system, already scheduled to debut after Silverstone. In other words, there was a plan, there was expectation, but the discrepancy between race pace and qualifying laps was clear to everyone. Crisis zone? Yes. Increased pressure? Absolutely. Leclerc's words, as direct as they were emotional, caused an impact within the corridors of the Italian headquarters. The repercussions of this self-criticism also echoed in the press and among fans, who began to follow the Monegasque's performance in the following races even more closely. It was known that starting in P6 at Silverstone, especially behind his teammate Hamilton, would complicate his strategy and would require aggressive driving to recover positions, increasing the pressure. On the other hand, this transparency from Leclerc was received with respect within the paddock and by Ferrari itself, which recognized the need to support the driver in his recovery process. The expectation was clear. The race would be a real battle for Leclerc. Starting behind his teammate Hamilton and rivals like Verstappen and the McLaren drivers already put the Monegasque in a position to seek a quick recovery, taking advantage of any mistakes or failures of others. Before I continue, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so that the YouTube algorithm recommends this video, and let's go. Yes, Lewis Hamilton believes a mistake at turn 16 cost him a chance at the front row of the grid Formula One for the British Grand Prix. But Hamilton's chance of home pole was ruined by the SF25's underdog on its final lap, with old rival Max Verstappen, Red Bull's Dutchman, outpacing the McLarens to take pole. A good qualifying. Overall, it's been a good weekend so far, and I think I was feeling more comfortable with the setup of the car, more comfortable with the balance, Lewis told Sky Sports. He starts in 5th, ahead of Leclerc and behind Englishman George Russell from Mercedes. I think up until the last corner, I was probably close to second on the grid, but I had a bit of understeer into turn 16 and ended up losing a 10th or so. Continued the 7-time F1 champion. As well as the team making positive strides, Hamilton was also pleased with the growing relationship he has enjoyed with Ferrari's staff since leaving Mercedes, following his much-publicized clashes over team radio with his race engineer Riccardo Adami. I'm very pleased with the progress. I'm very pleased with the driving. My engineer and I are understanding each other much better in terms of the car setup. I was much happier with the car, added the Ferrari driver. The lap was really good until the last corner, a little bit of understeer. I don't know if it was the curb that put me a little bit wide, but then I just lost control. I think it was a little bit over a 10th, so that would have put me on the front row for sure, explained Lewis. Hamilton admitted that after his thrilling home win last year, claiming a 10th British Grand Prix triumph would be a tough task, but he seemed certain he would give it his all. It's been incredible. To be in the red car here and see the Brits swap the red we had in previous years for the red and embrace the Ferrari badge is incredible. The support has been incredible. My family are here, which is great, continued the England driver. I think it will be very difficult to beat the McLarens or the Red Bulls, but when there's a will, there's a way. So I'm going to give it my all tomorrow. Yes, I'm a little behind where I want to be, but with this incredible audience, who knows? But tell me, what did you think of this video? Comment below because I want to know your opinion, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything.